Hi, welcome to my review and the Full Monty Show. Today's guest is the Henry U.S. Survival AR-7. Guns have been my hobby for a very long time, and obviously I've seen this in magazines, gun books, gun stores, and gun shows. They are everywhere. They've been making these and facsimiles for over 3 generations. Through the years, I was always curious about them, but not enough to buy one. And that is because I wasn't into shooting .22s. Not until recently when I started this channel, and I felt if I'm going to expand my subscriber base, I need to include .22s. And I'm glad I did, because today, the 3 out of my top 5 videos are .22s. I live in Canada. Centerfire rounds are restricted to 5 rounds for the rifle, 10 rounds for the pistol, but for the .22 there are no restrictions. I've forgotten how much fun it's to empty a 20-round mag. Now let's look at this AR-7. It was designed by a famous gun designer named Eugene Stoner. If that rings a bell, it should, because he also designed an AR-15 shortly after this, which later became the M16 for the Army. This began in the mid-50s, when he worked at Armalite, a division of Fairchild, a military aircraft defense contractor. He designed its predecessor, the AR-5, for the U.S. Air Force, which looks similar to this, but it was a bolt-action and in .22 Hornet. But due to budget constraint, not many was ordered, so in the late 50s, they turned to the civilian market. They used their research and tooling to convert the AR-5 to AR-7, a semi-auto in .22 LR. Naturally, Armalite originally produced them. Then the production rights switched hands a few times, including to Charter Arms, which was known to have a few issues before Henry decided to venture into it, and it seems they solved most of the issues of the past. Let's start with the review. If you haven't guessed by now, this is not just a buttstock, it's also a case that floats. So I was on YouTube checking out other AR-7, and I noticed that some of these guys are opening this all wrong. They're pushing the top part of this butt plate, and of course having a little bit of difficulty because it's smooth. The proper way is to turn it upside down. As you can see, there's the depression, and that's where you're supposed to push. You're supposed to push like that, and it easily comes off. And inside, you'll notice there is a receiver, 2 magazines, and a barrel. Okay. Now, even though it comes with 2 magazines, it'll comfortably hold 3. And the way you do it is to insert one of them into the receiver, like that. And it'll fit quite comfortably back into the case. And then here's your spare magazine. That'll leave extra space for what? Well, it could be a cleaning kit if you want, but what I would do is put extra ammo. I'll put the extra ammo in a bag. You can do up 10 or 15, and it just insert it in that space like this. Like that. Okay, that's what I would use that space for. Okay, let me get the specs out of the way. When it's in the case, the length is 18 inches. When it's fully assembled, it's 35¼ inches. It weighs 3.5 pounds. The LOP, basically the trigger to the back of the butt plate, is 15.5 inches. The average trigger weight is 3.5 pounds. Okay, what I'm going to do first is assemble it, show you how it's assembled. The first thing you do is slide the receiver into this space. Did you notice the space is off-centered? Yeah, I did not expect that. I thought it was dead centered, so I was a little surprised when I got it that it feels a little weird to have it off-centered. I wondered why they actually put this on the right side and not on the left side. But in any case, the real reason why they have it off-center is because the barrel has to reach all the way to the front. Okay, and if it's dead-centered, then of course they wouldn't be able to have this cavity for the receiver, or the space for the receiver. So anyway, now I'll show you how to put the receiver on this space. You just basically slide it in like this, okay, and then there's a knob right here. You turn the knob. Keep turning by hand. You don't need any tools. You keep turning till it stops. And just finger tight. That's it. Okay. Next, your barrel. It has this chrome stud right there. Okay, and that fits into the receiver. There's a cutout on the receiver on the front right there. Okay, it fits right in there. Okay. But did you notice when I push it in, it pushes back out again? And what happened is because the bolt is pushing it forward. And what you do is pull the charging handle out and then hold it back about ½ inch and then start turning the barrel nut. Keep turning till it stops, and again it's hand tight. Do not use any tools. Okay, now you can release your bolt and then push the charging handle in. Now you are fully assembled. Now you can put the extra mag back in its spot. Remember, top side first, bottom side. Now you're fully assembled. Okay, now I can start with the review. Henry did quite a few improvements on this to other models, and the one obvious one was the orange back here. Under low light, it's easy for you to see where to put your pieces, like the magazine, like where the barrel goes, and it's really nice having that. And of course, to put it back, just go like that. Another improvement they did, they used better plastic. I believe this is ABS. Previous one wasn't as good, so that's another improvement right there. They also put some depression for better grip. Okay. And they also put a rail. Although I would have preferred they put a Picatinny rail, because I use red dot all the time. But this rail will do, and then I just have to use an adapter. Okay. And the sights, our aperture, there's two different sizes. One is inside here, which I'll show you later, but you just unscrew this, and then you can also move the aperture up and down for your adjustments. Okay. Now the magazine catch is ambidextrous, and you can just use this finger and push it out like this, or you could use here. Okay. And the safety, very simple. Back, safe, forward, ready to fire. And I already mentioned about the bolt charging handle is you pull out about 5/8 of an inch and you can just charge it like this. And then you push it back when you're done. Now, Henry also improved the magazine, and what they did is they put this wire spring which holds the rounds, or guide the rounds better for feeding. Now, I understand that this other magazine made by other companies are not, well, it'll fit, but it won't work as well. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay. Now, this is a 16-inch barrel. Now, Henry, what they did to even lighten some more, before they made aluminum over steel lining. But Henry, what they did is, again, they reused the plastic, ABS plastic, over that steel lining to give it even lesser weight. Okay. And they also put a orange front post, and they obviously put depression here to reduce glare. And you can even see how thin the lining is, not very thick, and the ABS. So that's basically it for the review. Next is the field stripping. And this is the first time in the field strip that I don't have to remove the stock, but I have to remove the barrel. Okay, and it's because that's the only way the bolt comes out. Okay, the first thing you do is remove the magazine. Okay, then you need to cock the bolt back. You need to get the hammer all the way back. Okay, and after that you could hold the bolt back half an inch and start turning, unscrewing the barrel nut. That comes out. Okay, now to remove the bolt, you put some pressure with your finger in the front so you could pull the charging cocking handle all the way out, just like about 1 millimeter, and that's all you need to do, and that's your cocking handle. Comes out, and then release the bolt, turn it upside down so the whole entire assembly comes out. Okay, so you have 2 recoil and a recoil guide that comes out with it. Okay, see that? Now, the reason why you need to charge the bolt back, and if you didn't, the guide would be stuck behind the hammer. Sometimes it's a bugger to remove this after it's got caught behind the hammer, because once you might even have to disassemble the receiver, the FCG, just to get that out. Okay, so this is as far as you go when it comes to field stripping. That's it. From here, you don't even have to remove the stock, because there's nothing to do with the stock. There's nothing to clean. You just get here and start cleaning the magazine, definitely the bolt. Okay, oil it a bit before you put it back, and of course you run a brush down the barrel. So that's basically your field stripping, and of course to reassemble is just the reverse. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me, and please subscribe.